Okay, my name is Richard Pickering, and basically I just want to share with you something that I think is pretty important. And it's there's a research center, a cancer research center called the Kanzius Cancer Research Center, and they're doing some pretty phenomenal work. And what I want to do basically is share that with you, and I want to explain to you the difference between what they're doing and regular chemotherapy, and why I think it's so important that people really understand what it is. And I think if you understand the difference and what they're really doing there, that you'll be more inclined to try to help and hopefully donate your money or your time or just whatever you can. But where I want to start basically is I want to explain the process of regular chemotherapy and just real basic description. And basically what it is when you get cancer, you have cancer, and it's either in tumors or you just have cancer cells inside your body. And basically what they do with chemotherapy is that they expose you to extremely high frequency light, gamma rays. It's just it's an extremely high intensity, high frequency, tiny small wavelength of light. And the wavelength is so small with light, how it works is basically the smaller the wavelength, the further it goes down in, you know. That's why UV will hurt us, and gamma rays that they use for chemotherapy are actually way further. They're even way further down the line than ultraviolet, way smaller wavelength. So they're extremely high intensity, and basically what it is the wavelength is small enough when they expose it to you that it actually goes right down in and affects your atoms and your molecules and just rips them apart, because the wavelength is small enough that it'll knock electrons off your atoms and just break your molecules apart, and it'll kill the cancer cells. But the problem with it is that it's extremely evasive, and it doesn't just kill the cancer cells, it kills your cells, and it kills you. And that's basically what chemo is. Basically chemo is an exposure to light that is small enough wavelength that it will kill you, and hopefully what they hope for is that it kills the cancer before it kills you, and then you're good. And they continue to do it until you're just about to die, and then they have to stop or you will die. And if you still have cancer, then you still have cancer. And the process works, but it's an extremely horrible process. I mean, as anyone who's dealt with it knows, and it sucks. But anyway, what I want to explain to you is what this research is and what it's doing and how it works. And what I hope is that you'll look into it yourself and decide for yourself what you want to do. But basically what it is a guy named John Kanzius got cancer, and he was actually a broadcasting engineer. So he was an expert in high intensity radio waves, AM, FM, television radio waves. And radio waves are just the same thing. They're radiation the same way. They're light waves, the same as gamma rays. But what they are is they're big wavelengths. The wavelengths are actually as big as a house. So they're big enough that they don't hurt us in any way, because they're too big. They can't do anything to us. But basically, what the idea that he came up with is extremely kind of simple and extremely amazing, and it's working. But in this type of process, and these trials and these medical journals and all these reports and testing that they do, I don't know about all of it, but it takes years. And basically it's because the government sucks at life, and they take a long time to get funding to things like this. And basically if we as people can do it without the government, and we can do it faster, we just have to be able to afford the money. But anyway, let me explain the process. The process is this: they take metallic nanoparticles, and basically nanoparticles are tiny particles. I mean, really small. Like a comparison, like if a cancer cell was the size of your house, a nanoparticle would be like the size of me. So you can inject these into the bloodstream, these nanoparticles, and they're actually gold nanoparticles. And they kind of attack the cancer tumors, and they go into them, and they don't really do anything to them. They just get onto it, and they get into it, and the cancer cells, they go right into the cancer cells, and they just sit there. And these nanoparticles are in the cancer cells, and then they expose these cancer cells to to high intensity radio waves, and the radio waves actually heat the nanoparticles, heat them up, and ultimately incinerate the cancer cells and kill them. And in test tubes and in mice, it's killing all the cancer, and it's non-invasive. It doesn't hurt anything around the cancer. It doesn't hurt any other cells. It's just radio waves. I mean, we're exposed to them every day. It doesn't cause any other damage, but in the manner that they do it, and with the nanoparticles inside of you, it kills the cancer. And it's a simple, extremely brilliant answer to a really horrible disease. And the thing about it is it doesn't matter what kind of cancer. It doesn't matter how far along you are. It doesn't matter how bad it is. It doesn't matter where it's at. Radio waves don't hurt you. They can't. The wavelength is too big. So whether it's all in your brain or in your blood or in your entire body, if we can get this research down to an exact science and get the funding there, then basically what this means is that this will be like chemo that doesn't kill you. It will mean that if you get cancer and you'll go to the doctor and you'll be injected with nanoparticles, and you'll walk in and be exposed to radio waves and go on about your day and not get sick and not have any real true complications and have your cancer killed. So that's basically what I wanted to share with you, because I wanted to make sure that people understood what this really was, and what I hope is that you'll take maybe 5 minutes of your day and go to the site. It's Kanzius, cancerresearch.org, and just read up on it, or I think they have some videos on there that you can watch. And if you feel passionate about it and you feel like it's a good thing, then I would say donate, and if you have the means, donate substantially. And if you have the means, donate substantially and reoccurring donations, and don't wait for, we don't need to wait for the FDA, or, you know, I mean, they have to approve things, but we don't have to wait for the government to fund this. We have to, we can do this without them, and it will move along a lot faster. So just go to the site, please, and just look at it, and if you feel like you don't agree with it or it's not a good thing, that's fine. But if you feel passionate about it and you feel like you want to, and it's a good idea, then donate and share this with share the site with your friends. Share the site, share that site with your friends, and thank you.